Welcome to the game view. This is Sean with Total Packers. We're going to take a quick look here at the Week 16 disaster in the desert for the Packers. Then we're going to start this off right with the first big play of the game for either team. Packers here are showing they're in their nickel. They're in their nickel defense, but they're almost giving it a base defense look with Clay Matthews up at the line of scrimmage on one side and Nick Perry on the other. I don't like this lineup. The Packers have been doing this a lot. They keep bringing Clay Matthews up at the edge, taking him out of the middle of the field. That takes their best middle inside linebacker out of the middle of the field and partially neutralizes Clay Matthews. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but Clay Matthews is not a good outside rusher anymore. He has not been getting any pressure and any sacks out of rushing from the outside this season. Certainly in the last 2 months or so, he has not performed well on the outside. I'm not sure why we even bother at this point. But this is actually kind of a comical play here. The Packers played a lot of zone in this game, which had a lot to do with some of their failings and their penchant for giving up big plays. The Packers do not play zone well. And they played a lot of zone, possibly because they knew they weren't going to have Sam Shields. And Arizona has a really good receiving core, and that's possibly that scared the Packers into thinking that they needed to help their corners out by playing a lot of zone. So you see that here, the Packers are clearly in the zone, and with getting no pass rush, they're actually only really rushing 3 guys here, as Nick Perry is not attempting to rush, nor is Clay Matthews, who's dropped back into pass coverage. And with that being the case, with plenty of time for Carson Palmer, guys are breaking open all over the place. Carson Palmer pretty much has his pick of guys to throw to downfield who are plenty open. Palmer actually takes the easiest out here and just dumps it to Johnson. And kind of a old Chicago Cardinals play breaks out with the Packers. 5 guys all deciding to miss David Johnson. He goes up the sideline for 44 yards. This play here actually reminds me of an old Atlanta Falcons Gerald Riggs run where he runs through about 5 guys. The Packers here, they show a lack of hustle and poor teamwork. Nick Perry actually kind of overruns this, allows Johnson to cut to the inside. That catches the other 2 Packers, Randall and Morgan Burnett, by surprise and allows Johnson to go upfield. Also just poor hustle here. Poor hustle by Burnett, bad slow reaction by him. Clay Matthews up here is just jogging at this point. He's not going to get in the play. Jake Ryan and B.J. Raji also did not show enough hustle to get themselves into this play, even though at least Raji kind of gave it a shot. Really piss poor attempt to tackle there by Ryan, who had a miserable game this game. And that's going to go for 44 yards, and just like that, the Cardinals are in business. Believe it or not, this game was actually still 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. Packer defense had actually played fairly well to this point. And this is 3rd and goal. It's the beginning of the second quarter. The Packers here are just going to play their standard zone defense near the end zone, which they have been doing for most of the season. The Cardinals were obviously very aware of that defense. They were ready for it. They were ready to burn the zone. And I'm not sure that Larry Fitzgerald here really even has a assigned route that he's going to run. I think essentially he is just going to look for a hole in the zone, get there, and have Palmer throw him the ball. And that is pretty much what happens here, as we see. Palmer, once again, is what happens quite often in this game against the Packers zone. Palmer would have his choice of guys to go to. He actually could have thrown this out to the side to David Johnson. Looks like he's going to have a pretty easy touchdown. He could have went to the back of the end zone here to John Brown. That also looks like a touchdown. Instead, he just whips it into Fitzgerald. That'll work too. That's also an easy touchdown. And that would make it 7-0 Cardinals. Okay, we're still in the second quarter. This is 3rd and 13 for the Packers after a holding penalty had backed them up, of course. 3rd and 13 is pretty bleak for an offense that typically does not get a lot of deep plays or plays for a lot of yardage. This is going to end up being a sack. And yet on this play, as we would see many times in this game, this is probably, when I'm watching this film, this might be the worst game I've ever seen Aaron Rodgers play as a pro. The offensive line obviously was bad in this game, especially in the second half. They really became abysmal. But in the first half, believe it or not, if you watch the film again, in the first half, the offensive line actually was not that bad. This is going to end up being a sack. However, this play, besides being Don Barkley's fault, is also Aaron Rodgers' fault. Even though it is 3rd and 13 and Barkley does not do a good job on this play, this could have been a first down for the Packers. Randall Cobb continues being valiant in this offense. He is continuing to play hard. He got open a lot in this game. For whatever reason, we refused to key on him, refused to get him the ball. The Cardinals, as we're seeing more defenses do, the Cardinals did not double team Cobb a lot in this game. Defenses are kind of getting away from that. I think partially because Rodgers isn't throwing Cobb the ball, so why bother double teaming him? And Cobb here runs a very good out route here. He's actually going to be open for the first down. Rodgers could have thrown it to him in time if he throws this ball on time. Here comes Cobb up the field. He's going to run his out. He makes a nice quick step here on the defensive back. Now he's going to be cutting. Here he puts his foot in the ground, makes his cut. This ball, right already, Rodgers should be throwing into motion, releasing this ball. Nobody is sacking him yet. He still could be getting rid of the ball here. This ball, now Rodgers is now being grabbed. He's being sacked, taken down, but this ball should already be in the air. And Cobb's guy is stumbling. This would be an easy first down and possibly a bigger play for the Packers if Rodgers had just stood in there, delivered this ball on time. Instead, he was going to hang on to the ball, and that wasn't going to work. Ends up being a sack once again. Okay, it's getting late in the second half here. We're late in the second quarter, and it's a 10-0 Arizona Cardinal lead at this point. Still a game at this point yet. The Packers are nearing midfield. They got an easy out pass to James Jones that went for about 15 yards. And then a quick dump to Randall Cobb got an easy 8. And that got them near midfield. They appeared to maybe have something going here. This play here I call kind of a microcosm of the entire season for Aaron Rodgers. The Packers are kind of in their money set here. They got their 3 best receivers on the field. They got Eddie Lacy in the shotgun formation next to Rodgers like normal. They got Richard Rodgers here lined up at the line, ready to go out. So it's a very standard formation here for the Packers. As we roll this forward, you're going to see the Cardinals blitz their slot corner, which Cobb does his job and immediately looks to see if Rodgers wants to throw him the ball since his man went ahead and blitzed. Rodgers is not going to throw him the ball, and he doesn't need to because Eddie Lacy does his job. He swings over and picks up the blocking slot. And with that being the case, this is a great pocket. Everybody in the line and Eddie Lacy are all doing their job. Nobody's near Aaron Rodgers, and he's got plenty of time here. Good pocket to throw from. And as we roll this forward a little bit, we're going to see virtually everybody getting wide open. Richard Rodgers is coming across the middle. He has easily got a 15, 20-yard gain across the middle. Davante Adams is open this entire play. He's open easily this entire play. In fact, I don't know. I think Patrick Peterson was falling asleep at times in this game. He really did not cover very well, and he left guys open all the time. Here, Adams is easily open. We're also going to see Cobb shake loose from a rare double team, and he's going to get open here in just a moment as well. So here we stop it. We see Richard Rodgers is open pretty easily for about a 15, 20-yard gain over the middle. Davante Adams has got 5 yards, open by 5 yards. He's got about a 15-yard gain, at least 10-yard gain. And here Randall Cobb might have a touchdown if you can hit that in stride. But instead of standing in his beautiful pocket and looking to throw the ball to one of these guys, Aaron Rodgers is going to try to spin out of a pocket here. There's no reason for him to go anywhere. The pocket's completely fine. Rodgers is going to spin out, stop. Now he is actually in trouble, and he's just going to throw this ball about 5 yards out of bounds. Tell me when you've seen that before. All right, still 10-0 right after another Packers punt. This is the first play here for the Cardinals. This is, of course, one of the only good plays for the Packers all game. We'll go ahead and show it, even though not much to show here. Carson Palmer, which he does have a penchant for once in a while. This is like a rookie play or like a Brett Favre play. I don't know what to tell you here. This is Mike Daniels just standing here, and Carson Palmer just pulls a Vinny Testaverde. He doesn't see Daniels, throws the ball right to him. Daniels makes a nice catch here, takes off running. Remember, he was a running back in high school. Did allow an offensive lineman to tackle him, so I don't know how happy he's going to be about that, but a big play there for the Packers. Gave them the ball at the Cardinal 15-yard line. Still only a 10-0 game right before half here, so chance for the Packers to be right in this game going into halftime. This is 3rd and 5 before half. This is right after Daniel's interception. This is the Packers' chance to get within 3 points. They could at least kick a field goal, make it 10-3, get themselves on the board. Of course, things are not going to work out that way. This is the fateful 3rd and 5 play. The Packers don't need to get in the end zone here. You only need to get to the 5-yard line, get a first down. And we're going to see Rodgers absolutely make another terrible decision here. Sorrowfully, Devontae Adams is just running a simple out. Once again, Patrick Peterson kind of sleepy coverage. He's not too concerned about covering Adams, really. And Adams has easily got the first down here. He's just going to run a simple little square in, make a little turn there. And this ball should already be in the air, and this should be an easy first down for the Packers. But even though Aaron Rodgers is kind of looking at that side of the field, my guess is that he's looking for Randall Cobb instead, because he decides not to throw this ball. Instead, he is going to move around in the pocket. There is of course, a penalty on the Packers. Possible that, I don't know, maybe Rodgers saw that out of the corner of his eye and thought he might be getting a penalty. I'm not sure. But right here, at this point when Rodgers throws the ball, the defender is not looking at him. So kind of hoping that maybe that defender keeps his back turned to the ball. Unfortunately, as soon as the ball goes in the air, defender turns around, spots the football, and this ball is simply thrown to a spot that's going to be easy interception there for Bethel. Bethel actually had a miserable game this game covering James Jones. He is certainly a weak spot for the Cardinals going forward. I expect other teams to target him and go after him, but nice gift there thrown to him by Rodgers. And a huge mistake, as that's going to keep the Packers off the board, and things are about to get ugly. All right after the interception, there's only 57 seconds left in the half. The Packers here, again, they're going to continue their theme of playing a ton of zone. I guess the fact that there's only 57 seconds left before half might have something to do with it. But as we're going to continue to see, we've seen earlier in the season, and we're going to see in this all throughout this game, the Packers absolutely are miserable playing zone, especially when they do not get any pressure on the quarterback. They're dropping into, I'm not sure what. You'd have to actually ask Don Capers about this one. I don't know if this is supposed to be a 4-3 with Thomas being the deep middle and the safeties being the deep outs. I'm not sure, but you can see that both Rollins and Demarius Randall held up here and into the intermediate zone. And as nobody is pressuring Palmer, as soon as we just give this another second or so, we're going to see that pretty much everybody for the Cardinals is becoming wide open. Palmer has, once again, his pick of targets to throw to. He actually probably picks the most difficult pass here in deciding to throw this over to Floyd. Floyd makes a nice catch, and then what happens here is what starts is my favorite part of this play. When Demarius Randall, who obviously defender for the Packers, he decides he's going to play some offense. He might have got a little confused on this play. He is back at his home stadium here in Arizona. And I don't know, maybe he thought he suddenly thought he was a Cardinal. It looks like he's looking for somebody to block. I'm not sure. You can tell me why Randall does not tackle Floyd on this play. I have no idea. Randall, I'm not sure what Randall's doing. I think he's just going to run with Floyd all the way. I'm not sure what happened there, but rather comical play, bad play for the Packers, obviously, and just a funny play. We are into the second half. It was 17-0 at the start of second half for the Cardinals. The Packers, of course, James Starks fumbled the very first play for the Packers because, that's just the way things go. The Cardinals here are going to answer with the score to make it 24-0, and this game is quickly getting out of hand. You can see on this play that the Packers, they're playing a run defense. They got virtually everybody up near the line of scrimmage. They only got Clinton Dix playing back here. The Cardinals show you how you still can run against a defense that's stacking the line. That is, they got a double tight end set on the field, and they also have Larry Fitzgerald. It's nice when you have a big receiver who can block. He's going to help out here as well. And essentially what is a key to this play is a fairly easy touchdown for David Johnson, is that both the Packer linebackers are going to go unblocked here. Well, Jake Ryan at least is getting a piece of somebody. Clay Matthews, the Packers' preeminent inside linebacker and defender, he goes unblocked here, but he just allows himself to get caught up in the wash. Nobody blocks him, but he gets caught up in the wash, walled off, and never gets in on this play. And that's a pretty easy touchdown there for Johnson. I've spent some time picking on Aaron Rodgers, who deserves it. He's a star. He's not playing like a star. He's actually playing pretty poorly right now. And Clay Matthews was possibly by week 5, week 6, a defensive player of the year candidate. Not sure what has happened to him in the last couple of weeks, but he has really disappeared. He's not playing well right now. He was played his worst game of the season against the Cardinals. I think you can make a good case that Aaron Rodgers played his worst game of the season. Clay Matthews played his worst game of the season. And when you got your two-star players both having their worst game of the year against a good team, you're gonna get crushed. All right, without further ado, we're going to get to the play that essentially ends the game. It's 24-0 at this point. This is the Packers' next drive. They absolutely need to score on this drive, get them to have any chance of getting back in this game. 24-0 is nearly an insurmountable task against a team as good as the Arizona Cardinals, but if you fall behind any further, you're going to have no chance. So this is the play that pretty much ends the game right here. On this play, we're going to see pretty much just more of the same. Yes, the offensive line gets beat. This is Josh Walker. He just came in for Brian Bulaga. He is going to get beat out here, and his guy is going to go clean in on Rodgers. Unfortunately, though, once again, we're going to see this is Devontae Adams running the quick out here from the slot, and this is actually, once again, it is open. This is open. Adams has put his foot in the ground. He's making his turn. Rodgers should already be delivering the ball. He is not being touched yet. Rodgers could be delivering this ball, and if he threw this ball in time, this would be a first down for the Packers. Instead, once again, Rodgers was going to hang on to the football, even though this is open. This is a first down. Rodgers was going to hang on to the ball for whatever reason. Now he's getting sacked, and even though this defender grabbed him, for whatever reason, Aaron Rodgers, as we just back this up real quick so you can see this happening real quick again. Even though right there, Aaron Rodgers is being grabbed, he knows the defender is grabbing and pulling him to the ground. He does not protect the football, and he just lets that ball just fly out of there, and this is going to end up being a touchdown for the Cardinals. So, terrible decision making by Aaron Rodgers. He should have threw that ball on time. That could have been a first down for the Packers, and he's absolutely has to protect that football. That touchdown is on him. Josh Walker, he should not be playing tackle. He's not an NFL caliber tackle at this point. No duh. That's terrible play by him, but your MVP quarterback has to do better than that. Pretty much no reason to go forward from there. That's going to make it 31-0. That's game at that point. You have no chance to come back against a team as good as the Cardinals. 31-0. It's you Packers might as well put Scott Tolzien in at that point. I'm sure he wouldn't have done any worse than Rodgers. And just a terrible game for the Packers. The way that they're playing right now, the way Aaron Rodgers is playing, I don't know that there's any pulling out of this nose dive that they're in. Not real sure what happened with this offense and with Rodgers in the second half of the season. Things really seem to start going in the tank after the bye. We know defenses have come up to the line and have changed the defense that they're playing against the Packers, but that's not the whole story, guys. You watch the film. Guys at times have been getting open. There are plays out there that could be made, and the Packers, through a lot of reasons, is not making them. And Aaron Rodgers right now is not playing well enough to carry this offense. The offense was always based around him, and right now he's not playing well enough for this offense to do. This offense right now, the passing offense, is ranked 26th in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers has been healthy and played the entire season, and yet we have the 26th ranked passing offense. So if you can figure that out, that pretty much sums up the season in a nutshell.